Hello everybody, this is AK. I'm back. I didn't plan on making a video, but I went to check some videos on some medical stuff, and the little bell icon at the top right corner showed that I have 9+ comments or something, and I thought I'll take a look, and oh my goodness, it turns out that I had more than 80 comments waiting for me to reply to, and I read a few of them, and they're all very kind and very encouraging comments. Thank you so much. I haven't read all of them yet, but I'm sure most of them, if not all of them, are kind and encouraging comments. So thank you for taking the time to leave me such comments, and thanks for the spiritual and emotional support. Okay, things are beginning to settle down, and hopefully by the end of the month or beginning or the start of a new month, things would look much better than they do now. So for those of you who have read my blog post on the matter, of course you would know exactly what's going on. There's quite a few issues going on in my life right now, and and also in my mind, all right, what I'm thinking of doing, etc. So don't misunderstand, I'm not the one who's hospitalized, right? I explain my blog post is my dad, right? So while I'm making this video to say thank you to everyone, because it's faster than replying to every single comments that I've received so far, and I haven't gotten around to reading all of them, and I'm sure it's the same thing for my blog. I'm sure there are many comments in my blog as well waiting to be approved, because over in my blog comments are 100% moderated. While I'm on air, so to speak, I myself say something about what I'm doing on the investment front. Yeah, it's part and parcel of my life, of course. Even though I'm dealing with a situation, a lot of stuff in my life right now, where money is concerned, the plan has to be executed nonetheless, right? So I'm still buying T-bills. Of course, a 6 months T-bill, the last one came in at 3.64% cut-off yield, and this is not something surprising, because there's a lot of expectation for interest rates to cut, right, before end of the year, 1 or 2 interest rate cuts by the Fed. So yields are expected to come down, and so T-bills and bonds, the yields will be affected. So for those of us who like to have more certainty when it comes to fixed income, buying more Singapore savings bonds, well, that isn't a bad idea, right? Even though this month's offer, Singapore savings bond, is not as attractive as the Singapore savings bonds offered in the last 2 months, still not too bad, right? You can lock in a relatively attractive yield for the next 10 years, right? And some of my viewers or readers might remember that almost 2 years ago I said I was buying an endowment product offered by DBS, which offered 3.92% per annum in returns, guaranteed returns, and it was only for a 2-year period, right? And DBS sent me a little message to say they have another one now. It's also an endowment product. I think it's called Savvy. The name is still Savvy Endowment. I think it's for a 3-year period, and it's guaranteed 3.4% per annum. right? So I think that's relatively attractive, 3.4% per annum for only 3 years, and it's guaranteed. So it's something worth considering. I mean, 3.92% per annum, that's 2 years ago, it's not coming back, right? And with interest rates likely to go lower, that's something people might want to consider. This video is not sponsored by DBS, for those of you who might be wondering, right? It's just sharing something that I got in the mailbox. And while we're on the topic of DBS, DBS is still something that I'm thinking of increasing exposure to. But I did say, in my last video on DBS that it wasn't a good time to add back then. I offered the reason: technical analysis, fundamental analysis. I offered reasons from those perspectives and how I thought that stock price of DBS might come down, and it has come down. I see now $36 as the immediate support, right? And remember, technical analysis tells us where supports are, but it doesn't tell us whether they will hold or whether they'll break, right? But $36 is definitely more palatable for people who like to hold on, invest in DBS for the dividend and to hold for longer term. But I see a stronger support at $35 a share. For sure, people have been waiting. They might think of tiptoeing into DBS and nibbling, and if it goes down to 35, then they could buy a bit more. I don't really see DBS going back down to $30 per share, which is where the next strong support is. I mean, there is another support is about $32.50 or so, but the strongest support I see in the medium term or in the longer term is at $30 per share. Unless there's another crisis, I don't really see DBS going down to $30 or even $32.50, right? So thanks so much again for all the emotional and spiritual support. I usually reply to every single comment in my blog and YouTube videos, and I will have to find time to read all the comments and respond accordingly, right? So I'll do it sometime in the future. Okay, so thanks so much. Bye bye.